And we're live. What's up, what's up, what's up? I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. Welcome. It is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Anyways, okay, I am here to answer your herpes questions, so feel free to ask them here in this chat. If you are new, if you are just approaching this, you're like, what in the world are we talking about? How did I get here? My name is Alexandra. I'm the founder of Life with Herpes. I was diagnosed with oral herpes in 2003 and genital herpes in 2011. So I have been openly public talking about my herpes diagnosis since 2017. So I've been talking about this publicly since 2017 with the hopes that by talking about it, I can help break a stigma. By talking about it, I can help people who are newly diagnosed. I don't know about you, but when I was first diagnosed, it was absolutely terrifying. It was isolating. It was paralyzing. It was suffocating. It was humiliating. I felt betrayed. Hi, Annabelle. I felt absolutely betrayed, embarrassed, humiliated, all those things. And with those emotions, a lot of times it can lead us to making some choices that are not probably the best, healthiest choices for ourselves. And it's my goal here to help change that, turn that around, and get us to a place where we can potentially learn and grow and create a better life. Life with herpes. Hi, Merlin. Anyways, it's funny, you're not funny that your name's Merlin, but my son and I were just watching a show, well, the Merlin story, so he's like obsessed with Merlin right now. Anyways, so thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Yesterday, I had a lot of questions about how does herpes transmit? How do you get herpes? So yeah, feel free to ask your questions here. I will do my best to get through all of them. I feel like they all show up at once and then it gets like, anyways, but keep asking your questions and I'll get to them. So yesterday, was a lot of questions about how is it transmitted. So herpes is a skin to skin transmission. It lives in our nervous system. It lives in our nerves. And what it does is in the areas that were infected, when we have outbreaks or the virus is shedding, we're able to transmit it to a new host. So it is skin to skin. So for example, if you have oral herpes, you get it on your mouth, this area is where you would be contagious. Not your elbow, not your hand, not your head, not your legs, not your genitals. It'd be the area in which you get outbreaks. So in order to transmit it, you would have to use your mouth. So you would kiss, or however you use your mouth is how it would get transmitted. Also, and it doesn't live in our bodily fluids, so it doesn't live in saliva, any other bodily fluids like blood, sweat, things like that. But those things can be a vehicle in which it's transmitted. So the viral, especially if you're having an outbreak, any of that fluid could come in contact with the virus and then transmit it that way. Annabelle, you're saying you fell into a depression when you found out about yours. Yeah, I understand. When was that? Was that recently? Was that a while ago? A lot of us either go through anxiety or depression. I know I cried practically every day, and I also stayed in a relationship that wasn't healthy. That was something that I just don't want anybody to go through. I was just in the absolute wrong relationship that was holding me back and not allowing me to move forward. So the best thing I would say, I wish I would have, when I found out I had herpes, I wish I would have just and moved on. But I was scared that I wouldn't find anybody. I was scared that I wouldn't be accepted and that I would just ultimately be rejected. So I stayed with the guy that I got herpes from. Cheers. You haven't had an outbreak in over a year. Should I be expecting one soon? No, don't expect it. Don't anticipate it. That's awesome if you haven't had an outbreak. So yeah, don't wish it upon yourself. It is normal for people, actually most people do not get outbreaks. It is normal for our bodies to learn to suppress it, to learn to cohabitate with it and keep it dormant in our system. So that's awesome that your body has figured out a way, your body's working in the best way possible to keep the virus dormant. That's awesome. So don't expect it. Don't expect it. Let's see. As someone who has herpes, do you think it's important to also stop the HIV stigma? Absolutely. I think any sort of stigma is important and to bring education to it. The difference I would say between HIV or HPV and HSV, the herpes virus, is the herpes virus has been stigmatized or branded as, ew, like, you know, ew, it's so gross, or, well, I know why you got it, or it's just absolutely crushing to a lot of us that have it. The difference to HIV is that was branded, that was marketed, that was promoted as something as, hey guys, this is something that's serious, let's work on it together. Let's stop this, let's figure out, let's do a research, let's do walks, let's find a cure, let's support our people in that have it, let's support them through it. You can look at Princess Diana, who was a big advocate of AIDS patients. At that time it was AIDS. People actually went into the full disease of AIDS. So you can see that the branding was and marketing around it was significantly different than herpes. It's like, well, ew, I don't ever want to be with one of those people. Gross. Da, 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 da. Same with HPV, which is human papillomavirus, aka warts, aka abnormal pap smears. Thank you for the, I've never had one of these. I loved that heart. Thank you. Same thing with HPV. It was branded. I was like, hey, let's get this together. Let's not go into the cancer phase. Let's get this taken care of. Let's bring awareness. Let's educate. So I think the big difference between herpes and HIV and HSV is the education. It's not talked about. It's shunned down upon. It's like beneath you to even discuss it. And it's like, ew. Why would, and it's not even tested for in STIs, STDs, so it's just not even something that's really brought awareness to. So I totally agree with you on bringing awareness to HIV and AIDS and HPV, but I think that herpes really needs the education around it. Do I use my mouth? You mean for transmitting herpes? So that is a way. So like if you have oral herpes, however you use your mouth, you can transmit herpes that way. So you can transmit it orally or you can transmit it to somebody's genitals. Let me keep going. You said you're bisexual. Is there a way to protect the other girl during intercourse? So I don't know if you have an oral or genitally. It's really the same whether it's bisexual or heterosexual or all of that. It's a matter of communication. The best ways that you can prevent transmission is, number one, communicate with your partner. Let your partner know that you have it, and you guys together can figure out a combination. So whether that is taking the antiviral, that's FDA proven, that is the drug, the antiviral that will help suppress the virus. It's proven to do that. It'll help lessen the transmission rate. You can also use some sort of latex barrier, so whether it's a dental dam, a condom, however you want to use that, that's also another great way. And of course, not being intimate while you have active outbreaks. The next thing I would say that you can do too would be adding lysine or monolaurin or some sort of combo like that to increase or boost your immune system. So lysine will help suppress the virus. It'll help block the replication mode of the virus, and that is just a protein. It's a supplement. And then monolaurin is known to help boost our immune system. So taking that together. Again, what works for you in your relationship is going to be different than works for my relationship, then it's going to work different for so-and-so's relationship. I think the number one key word here is communicating with a partner. What do you both feel comfortable with? I found out in 19, I kept myself away from everyone for about a year. Oh no. I know that is totally typical for people to isolate themselves when they're first diagnosed with herpes. I don't want you to do that. I don't want anybody to isolate themselves or feel like they are a leper or they can't be touched or loved or caressed. That is absolutely wrong. To alienate ourselves from the people we love is really going to be a harmful thing, and that's exactly why I want to talk about this. That's why I have this platform. That's why I have this channel. That's why we're talking about this, is so that we can bring awareness and information to people who desperately need it. 80% of the population actually has herpes, and so the more awareness we can bring to people who are struggling is going to be the key. So if you guys know anybody that has herpes, please share this information with them. You can do it discreetly or whatever. If you're someone that is in a position, maybe you're an educator, maybe you know of an organization that needs information like this, please let them know so I can get this information out. You're saying that you're on Valtrex. You have always been honest and safe with your partner. Is it, it was hard in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. Getting over that initial, like, I have to disclose conversation, and just first couple times you do it can be really scary, especially if we haven't done it, and especially if we weren't doing it. You know, a lot of us weren't having these conversations prior to a new partner or a current partner, and so that's why we're here. Like, I'm fully guilty of that. My past conversations with partners would be like, you're good, right? Like, you don't have any STDs, right? And those types of conversations would end up like, yeah, of course not. Of course I'm good. Okay, cool, we're good. Unfortunately, that is how a lot of conversations go, and that's how a lot of us end up with STIs, STDs. By the way, I know the words STI, I just hate using it. I like using the word STD, but there's a lot of people that will correct me, like, that's not the correct word, Alexandra. Whatever, it's STD in my book. But you say you have whitlow on your thumbs. It's the worst. Oh my gosh, I can imagine that that's extremely frustrating, and especially when you get outbreaks. So how do you deal with it? What do you do? Do you cover them up? Do you do Band-Aids? Do you take medication? What do you do to protect your thumbs or your fingers? So what we're talking about, there's a thing called herpetic whitlow. It's the HSV virus on your fingers. It was very common with a lot of dentists and things like that. So it does happen. Thank you for everything. You're welcome. I'm glad that this is helpful for you. So thank you. Do I have triggers? Like, do I have warnings? So they can be different for everybody. They can be flu-like symptoms. They can be exhaustion. They can be swollen lymph nodes. They can be a tingly sensation, a shocking, like a nerve sensation. And of course, lesions, like blisters, can be a sign as well. So I usually get like a pulsing information, a pulsing sensation, like I can just feel it, and then I'm like, oh, I think that's an outbreak. And then I usually up my lysine. I take lysine. As soon as I take lysine, I can feel my symptoms lessen. You said you learned to live with that and embrace it. That is good. Am I just talking about different things? I'm not sure what you mean by that. If you had the power to remove one disease, what would it be? I have no idea. I don't know. There's a lot of diseases out there. I don't know enough about disease. I'm not a disease specialist or infectious disease specialist. I would say that if there's something we could do with cancer, I think that would be really helpful. It's a good question. I wish I was more educated. I thought herpes would stay as an active outbreak forever. So no, that's a big misconception. A lot of people think that. I think a lot of people think that once you have herpes, you will always have these annoying blisters 24/7 for the rest of your life, and that's false. That's erroneous. The blisters or outbreaks come up when our immune system is weakened and when we're stressed. So for some people, that can look like once a month. For some people, that can look like once a year. For some people, that can look like once every 5 years. It just varies per person and their lifestyle and their diet and things like that. That's true. People usually feel bad for those who have HIV compared to those with HSV. Yeah, HIV is a very different stigma. And by no means is it, I mean, that's a serious diagnosis. If you don't get it treated, you can die from it. Herpes, you can't die from it. So what's the best way to protect yourself from herpes? I would say have all your partners get tested. So anytime you enter into a new relationship, get tested. Have your partner get tested. That way you know if your partner has it or does not have it. The 90% of the people with genital herpes do not know they have it. So I would either make sure they get tested or assume that they have it. And by assuming they have it, use protection, communicate about it, communicate on outbreaks, and if they do have it, taking the antiviral or taking lysine. This is the brand I personally use. This is what I use. I use Palmera Health. This will also help with the replication process of the virus. You ordered a pizza, you got your piece, and she got herpes. I don't know if that was a joke or what. You're the best. Thank you. You're welcome, Melissa. Thank you. You're the best. What are cold sores? Cold sores are blisters that are HSV1 or HSV2 on your mouth. It is very common to get them when you're sick, so AKA a cold. That's why they're called cold sores. They're also called fever blisters. It would be like a blister or a cluster of blisters that would be around kind of the outer lining of your lip. So it's very common. 2 out of 3 people actually have it, and it's extremely common. Apparently I have HSV1, but I likely got it in my childhood and never had an outbreak. Once again, Melissa, that's extremely common for people to have HSV1. Like I said, 2 out of 3 people have it, and most people don't get outbreaks. They've had an outbreak here or an outbreak there and have no idea. It's hard to believe that people are uncomfortable sharing they have herpes. Unbelievable. Yeah, you know, when you think about it, with 80% of the population having some form of herpes, it is very interesting that we're concerned about disclosing it, but yeah, it is very common. Will there ever be a cure? I'm sure there will be some sort of vaccine or protocol to lessen the viral load in our body. What does that look like? When is that? I don't know. I've heard some rumbling about potentially going to trial in Europe, but I haven't heard. I personally don't follow it because I don't want us to wait for a cure. I don't want us to sit around and wait for this cure to happen. I want us to go out and live life and enjoy it. Your post is so helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad that they're helpful. At what weeks did you start taking your pills while pregnant? Close to your due date? I did. I took them towards the very end. They took them about 36 weeks pregnant. So I waited till then. Are you Filipino? I am not Filipino. You make sure that they get tested because it's not in the regular test. Excellent point. Herpes is not typically included in the normal STI plant panel. When you go in and say, I want to get tested for STDs, STIs, they're not going to include herpes in that unless you specifically ask. So if you kiss someone with it, would you get it? No, not necessarily. That's the other misconception, is you think that once you have herpes, sorry about that, once you have herpes, anytime you'd come in contact with someone, you're automatically going to pass it. I know we've all come in contact with the virus. We've all kissed somebody with the virus. It's just statistically impossible not to. It's just a matter of when our immune system is shot and that person has an active virus. The virus is active at that point. So whether you have an outbreak or the virus is shedding is when you would come down with it. What was my second outbreak like? The first one was terrible. My first one was awful. My second one, I don't remember. It was not as severe as the first one. They get less and less severe as time goes on. Have you tried the ozone therapy? You know, I haven't. I've talked to people who have, but I personally have not. And thank you for all the hearts, you guys. I really appreciate them. I see them coming through. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's been some antivirals that have been used in Australia. So there are antivirals that we can take. It's called Valtrex or valcyclovir or acyclovir. It's an antiviral that can basically help keep the virus dormant or keep it out of replication mode. That is FDA proven. It's something that is given to us when we are diagnosed with herpes. And so that's something that you can take. It's a prescription drugs. That may be what they're talking about in Australia. It is prescription. It has to be prescribed by your doctor. There are some things you can do that are over the counter that are supplements, which is basically supplementing your diet. There's lysine. There's also monolaurin. We stuck. There is a promotion going on. I do have it in my bio for you with the extra strength monolaurin if you guys want to check it out. So basically this duo, this combo is going to be a really strong combination for us living with herpes. Lysine, what it does is it helps block the replication mode. So the herpes virus loves arginine. Arginine is a protein that is found in nuts, peanuts, chocolate, coconut, a lot of like pre-workout stuff. It has arginine in it. Basically, arginine fuels the herpes virus. It allows it to go into replication mode. So by supplementing your diet with lysine, it actually helps block that. So it lessens the replication of the herpes virus. When we're not in replication mode, it basically means that we're not getting outbreaks. So anyways, this is the one I love. Try it. I have it linked. And then right now, so monolaurin is, it's really interesting. Monolaurin is what's known as lauric acid. It is basically something that helps disrupt the outer layer of an enveloped virus. An enveloped virus has a fatty protein around it that prevents our immune system from penetrating it and doing what it needs to do. So by taking monolaurin, it helps boost our immune system, which when we have a stronger immune system, we're not getting more frequent outbreaks. So these are the supplements that I personally take daily. And like I said, this just came back in stock. It was out of stock for 6 months, so it just came back. Do I take the supplements combination with the antiviral meds? So I personally do not take the antiviral. I just take these, and I take these daily. So again, I can't recommend or prescribe or things like that. I'm not a doctor, but that's personally what I do. And they have been really helpful in my outbreak game. Is back pain normal during an outbreak? Yeah, it can trigger. Sometimes that can be really like a precursor, a sign, a symptom of getting an outbreak. Let's see, I have a lot. Okay, what should you do if you want to get pregnant but don't want to give it to your partner? Obviously, we don't want to give herpes ever to a partner. I would say just, again, talk to your partner. Obviously, don't have sex when you have outbreaks. If taking the antiviral is something you want to take the antiviral. If taking lysine something you want to take lysine. So obviously, you're not going to use a condom if you're trying to get pregnant, but just make sure you don't have an outbreak. What pills did you take at 36 weeks pregnant? I took the antiviral. I took valacyclovir. I took that at 36 weeks pregnant, recommended by my doctor. And I took that through my up until I had Clinton. You said your first outbreak was a week out of work. I understand. Do you have less outbreaks as time goes on? You do. It's actually very common to have less outbreaks as time goes on and our body gets more acclimated to our outbreaks and our immune system. Is it not suggested to take antivirals in the first, second trimester of pregnancy? I would talk to your doctor. My doctor recommended take them. I personally didn't want to take them. I mean, you can't eat a turkey sandwich, so why would I take a pill? Was kind of my thought. So that was just my whole thought on it. You told your doctor to take them a few months before birth. Yeah, that's very normal to take the antivirals a few weeks prior to birth. Do you take the supplements in combination with the antiviral meds? Yes, so a lot of people do. A lot of people take all of it. Some people take part of it. I personally take lysine and monolaurin. I take this combo combined. I don't take the antivirals anymore. So what I like to do when I have outbreaks, I like to use these combos right here. I like to use, this is my favorite. This is the Everyday Wellness Oil. This was specifically formulated to help with herpes outbreaks. So there's lysine in here. There's lysine in the oil. There's lemon oil, which is like lemon balm, is extremely potent with the herpes virus. There's tea tree oil, which is wound healing, is also antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral, all sorts of anti things. There's other things in here like other citrus oils, chamomile, that are just soothing. And so by putting this directly on your outbreak, it can help with wound repair, it can help speed up recovery, and it also helps with the pain. So I like to personally use this when I get outbreaks. So this is what I use instead of the antiviral. I'm not saying don't take the antiviral, I'm saying this is what I use instead, and you can use this in addition to. I also like, this is, has been sold out 2 times last month, is the Reviver soap. So this is handmade. Took over a year to formulate this as well. It has eucalyptus and peppermint in it. It really helps soothe, clean, moisturize our skin. I like to use it directly on our outbreaks, but you can also use it with or without an outbreak. My son uses it, my husband uses it, I love it. And then this is the best seller. This is what you guys love to use on your outbreaks. It's like a balm or like a butter. You can rub it directly on your outbreak. It's peppermint and eucalyptus as well, with other antivirals or antiviral essential oils in it. And again, this does wonders as well. So I like them all. They're all linked for you to check them out. As far as your back pain, honestly, using this oil might help with just soothing your overall body. So anything that we can do to lessen our stress would be like taking an Epsom salt bath, and relaxing would be really helpful. What should you do if you, where can I buy those? They're all linked for you. I have the supplements linked for you, and I also have all of the products linked for you. If you just go check them out, they're great. They really are. I'm a more natural person. At other times in my life, I was like antiviral. Personally, I'm more of a natural person right now. So what was suggested while you're having an outbreak? I would say if you want to take the antiviral, if you've been prescribed the antiviral and want to take it, that's going to be really helpful in speeding up recovery. If not, I would again, if you feel comfortable and your doctor is cool with it, add lysine to your diet. Lysine is going to help internally speed up the recovery of an outbreak. It's going to lessen the replication of it. I would also take the monolaurin, and then if you have those products, I would add that. Should you take the antivirals daily? That's between you and your doctor. Some people take it daily. They take about 500 milligrams a day, and some people just take them when they have an outbreak. If you take them when you have an outbreak, it's typically 500 milligrams in the morning and 500 milligrams in the evening. But again, I'm not a doctor, so talk to your doctor and see what he or she specifically recommends for you. I think I just answered the antiviral questions. How many tablets should you take it per day? For the antiviral, it's typically 500 milligrams. For the monolaurin, lysine, I would talk to your doctor. There's the recommended dosage on here. The monolaurin has like a protocol, like workup. So if you're building your immune system, I have a bunch of information for it when you purchase it, so you can check that out. Ever had herpetic whitlow? No, but somebody on the call has. I don't know, or call on here has. I don't know if she's still on. Do you believe there'll ever be a cure? We were talking about this earlier. I do. I think there's something out there. I don't know if there's quote unquote a cure, because at this point we cannot remove viruses from our body. So we will always have the virus, just like people with hepatitis or HIV have been able to make it undetectable in their body, but they still have it. How do you tell the person I slept with, I'm so scared? So if you slept with the person and have herpes, I would do it as soon as possible. I would try and do it in person or at least over the phone. I'd let them know as soon as possible that you have herpes and it was potentially a mistake that you didn't tell them. Either you got wrapped up in the moment, you completely forgot, you apologize for not having this conversation, and what you guys are going to do as a unit moving forward to communicate that you have herpes and how you're going to prevent the transmission to a partner. Excuse me, my voice is getting hoarse. Any advice on disclosing to a new partner? So I would just say wait till you're ready to sleep with that person. Wait till you're ready to be intimate with that person. There's no need to disclose until you're ready to expose the person. So dating can just be dating. You don't know if you're going to sleep with that person. Wait till you have a connection, and then that's when I would have that conversation. I think it's important to open with the sexual health conversation of like, hey, let's talk about it. Let's get tested. What are we going to do moving forward? How do we want to approach birth control? Like, how do we want to handle this? And just have more of an educational conversation about sexual health, and then lead with that. You're having reoccurring outbreaks. Will it lessen over time? Yes, it should. You're probably really stressed because you're at school. It could be also your diet. I know when I was a student, I didn't eat as... Ow! I just hit my knee on the knob, the door knob, like the drawer knob. Ow. I know I didn't eat as healthy, and you're stressed and you're pushing the boundaries and you're drinking and you're out late and all those things. So I would say try and take care of yourself. This might be a great time to talk to your doctor about potentially taking the daily antivirals. That might be really helpful for you at this point. Again, I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend it, but definitely talk to your doctor. Can Epsom salts help me with the outbreaks? Yeah, Epsom salts are awesome. So they help calm our nervous system. Our herpes viruses live in our nervous system. By the way, thanks for the hearts, you guys. I like all the hearts. Herpes virus lives in our nervous system, and so anything we can do to calm it and keep it out of the like freak out stage and keep it at more of like a homeostasis phase is what's going to help our outbreaks either recover or prevent outbreaks. So Epsom salt baths also add magnesium to our bodies, which help with the muscle pain, which can also help relax our bodies. I do have Epsom Salt soak, which is really beneficial. There's 3 soaks in this one. When I don't really take a lot of baths, but if I do take a bath, or if I feel a sensation coming on and I jump in the bathtub, this usually helps with my outbreaks, either kind of get rid of it, or it definitely helps with the pain. And I feel like it personally helps speed up the recovery. Do you ship to Canada? I believe so. If you go to the website secretsocietywellness.com, I know we ship to the UK. If you go to check out, it'll tell you. I should know that. I can't recall, but I think we do. What's monolaurin? It is what's called lauric acid. It is something that helps break down the outer layer of an enveloped virus. The HSV virus is an enveloped virus, meaning there's a shell around the virus that our immune system can't penetrate. If our immune system can't penetrate, it can't start breaking down that virus or fighting that virus internally. So by taking monolaurin, it can help with those enveloped viruses, not just herpes, but other enveloped viruses that we can pick up along the way. It helps boost our immune system. So if our immune system is operating on all cylinders, we tend to have less herpes outbreaks. All right, guys, I'm going to answer these last few questions, and then I've got to jump off. I need to become a little mommy here, and I need to get some posts out to you guys. You don't believe cleanse your body of it and getting rid of the parasites. I don't think we can cleanse our body of a virus. I think we have it forever. So, but I do think getting rid of parasites is helpful, but herpes virus is a virus, not a parasite. Yeah, there's a lot of different types of supplements you can pick up as far as monolaurin and lysine. Walmart probably carries them. I think there's a lot out there. I think I've answered it for everybody. I think I've gone through everything. I appreciate the answering. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys being here and spending the last, I don't know, like 20 minutes with me. So I could have it and not know and give it to a guy, and him not know and give it to another girl. Absolutely. Great point, and I'm going to end on that. Most people don't know they have herpes. We unfortunately transmit it unknowingly. Our next partner can pick it up and unknowingly get it. Or maybe they have an outbreak or whatever, and then it gets transmitted to somebody else. So that's just how this whole thing works, is we don't know and we transmit it, and boom, that's why the majority of the population has herpes. All right, guys, I hope I got through all your questions. Yesterday, somebody called me out on not answering all the questions, so I apologize if I don't get to all your questions. That it jumps, and I just do my best to answer them as they come. So if you have more questions, let me know. I will make some videos for you. I will see you all tomorrow. I appreciate you, and thank you for being you. If you need anything, let me know. I'll make videos or whatever. All right, bye.